Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we'll look at how we can create the Spring Cloud config server, that is this particular service, and we'll connect it to a Git repo, which, as I mentioned, will contain the actual application.properties file. And what I've done is I'm considering two services. Let's consider that it's a e-commerce platform. So the two services which are connected to the config server are product service and inventory service. Okay, just for simplicity's sake. So these are the two services. And so we are going to create the config server and the Git repo. Okay, so first what I'm doing is I'm creating a Git repo. The way to do that is very simple. It contains all the application.property files. So I'm considering one global application.properties file and other two service files. Okay. So in my GitHub account, I just created one repository which contains these files. Okay. Uh, that's the idea. And the way I did it is I just simply had three text files which actually don't contain anything in them right now. Okay. Um, what we are going to do is we'll put some properties, and after creating the config server, we'll see if those properties reflect. Okay. So let's first uh, put some properties in these files quickly. Okay. So let me go to the project. Uh, let's say it contains server.name is equal to um, commerce app. Okay. And service dot uh, let's say we can call it you know, we can have any property, it could be chat, message, info. So let's call this info. And info, what we'll put is the global app property file. Okay. So I've created these two parameters, these two um, properties in this file. Inventory service would contain, let me call it inventory dash service. This is a service contains info about inventory of each product. Okay, got it. And then let's have product service dot properties file as well. So this we will call as product service. This info about each product. Info about each product. Okay. And for consistency's sake, let me rename the service to e-commerce service, something like this. Okay. Now, uh, uh, so there is one small change I would like to do. So when we were basically creating these files. Actually, I created text file, which is little bit not correct. So what I am doing is I want to create application.properties file of the same file format. So what I did is I just copied one application.properties file of an existing service and copied it into our epicenter config repo project. Okay. And this is how it looks. So type is little bit different. Okay. To the text document which we created. This is the type of file which we need to create. Okay. So what I'll do is this becomes my application.properties file. If I open, it contains these properties. If I edit with Notepad plus, let me do that. So let's call it e-commerce service. And let's put the other properties. So info here. Let's have a server port anyway. So we'll have 8001 for our global file. Okay. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll just duplicate it and call it inventory service. Okay. Let's copy the properties in the text file to the inventory service. So let's go ahead and put the properties of this particular um, file as well. Put the server for 8002. Okay. And then let's create another one. Okay. Let this is the content service. Let's put the product service properties real quick. To 8003. So we are done with this step. Let's delete the text files which we previously created, because now we have the correct format files. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit these files in front of you. Okay. So these are the new files. So the three files have been pushed to the Git repo. If I go to that repo real quick, this is the one. So it contains the three files. Okay. So we have the Git repo in place now. Next thing we are going to do is create a Spring Cloud config server application, which would be an independent app, service in itself. Okay. We'll put, you know, couple of required dependencies. Let the page load. So we have this open now. We call it big server. Okay. Other things remain as default. We will put config server, as one of the dependencies. And what else we can put? Hmm, discovery client. Okay. So this particular service, which is our config server, would also be a discovery client to our discovery server. Okay, so let's register that particular application as well. So these are the two dependencies which are required. Let me generate the project now, and let me quickly extract the files. Okay, and let's open the project as well. So it created the epicenter config server inside epicenter config server, which we don't want. So what I'm going to do is just paste it outside. We have it in the projects folder directly. Okay, this is what we want. Okay, let's go to the main file. Okay, let's quickly add the JDK. And by the way, as we have opened the folder, it would start resolving the dependencies, that is importing the files required to resolve the dependencies. Okay, so it is doing it in background. So we have these two dependencies. They're in the form.xml, Netflix Eureka client, and Spring Cloud config server. Okay, the compilation errors to be removed. Okay, so we are okay now. So other annotations which we need to add are enable config server and enable discovery client. Okay, and of course we will call the application as epicenter config server. Okay, now uh, let's also put server port to be 8888. Okay, for this particular application config server. Okay, let's okay, one more thing we need to do is when we are setting up the config server, we have basically set up the port. We have put all the required annotations. Now, to point it to that Git repo, we also need to put the Git repo URI, okay, which is this one. Okay, so let me quickly get the Git repo URI app properties or config server, because I don't remember that application.properties property. So let's get it from ChatGPT. This is the one, spring.cloud.config.server.git.uri. Okay, let's put that in the project. Ri equal to, okay, here it has to be the git URI. Okay, so click on code. You will see this code URL, Control C. So it should end with .git. Okay, that's the idea. So mostly we are set now. Let's go to the main file. Let's run the application. Let us also open our discovery server and run that as well. Okay. There's one problem here. Let's look at the issue. What is the thing? Mm. Okay. Since it was not up and running, that is why this error is coming. But now, since discovery server is up and running, so we shouldn't have any issue actually. So let me quickly stop this and we will rerun the config server. Okay, don't worry about that. Let's rerun this. Okay, now it should not give us any error because we have the discovery server running on 8761. Okay. Okay. So let's quickly check 8761. So we have the config server running on port 8888 registered here. Okay. Now, also in our config repo, we have these three application.properties files. Okay. So now let's check how we can see the three property files properties on the config server. Okay. So the way to do that is, okay, so basically we have to put uh, the name of the property file. Okay. So this has to be product service. Default, it should give us the product service properties as well as the global application dot properties. Let's see if it is giving us that. Okay. So what we have product service dot properties. This is the file, service info and service name. Okay. And server port. Then we have application.properties, which is the global properties file. As I mentioned, it will give us the properties for that file also, which it is giving as e-commerce service and server port and service.info. Okay. And now if I provide, so it doesn't give us information about the inventory service. Now if I want to get the information about inventory service, then I have to provide inventory service. The name should exactly match the name of the files here. Okay. So we have inventory service dot properties, and the properties which we have here are these two properties, these three properties. And then, as I mentioned, it will also give us the global properties file info, which contains these three properties: application name, port, and service info. Okay. Hope it's clear now. If you don't give, if you give, let's say, some ABC slash default, then it should only give you the global application dot properties file related properties. Okay. So as you can see, application dot properties, and then it is giving the three properties. Okay. Hope it's clear. And one more thing with config server, let me show you that restart is not required when we change the properties for any of the files. Okay. Let's check it out quickly. So what I'll do is, we already have these files. So instead of service name, let's put string.application.name. Okay. For both the services, because that's the standard for putting the service names. Okay. So I've changed the properties in these two files. Okay. Do we want to change anything here? This is a global app property file. Let me add related to e-commerce. Okay. So I've done that. Let's quickly commit the code. Git status, git add, git commit, and git push. So the three files are pushed now with the new changes. And let me show you, I'm not doing anything with the config server. I'm not restarting the server. Okay, nothing I'm doing. Now let's quickly check it out. The first URL, abc slash default, which should give us the application dot properties file related properties, the new change properties, and it is giving us that. So you see this particular appended string here. Okay, which means it has refreshed without any restart of the global config server. Okay, let's quickly check for inventory service as well. Okay, so for inventory service, yes, it has got the new property name, and obviously the updated application dot properties also. Let's check it out for product service also. So product service, it has got the new property name which we provided, and also the change in the application dot properties. Okay. So yes, so this is what I wanted to cover in this video. So in this video, just to recap, we created a global config server which points to a Git repo containing a global application dot properties file and service specific application dot properties files. Okay, and we were able to basically grab those properties without any restart of config server, uh, which is great. Next video, we'll continue on this journey. So until next time, uh, I'll see you, and happy learning. Okay. Thank you very much. Hope you like the video. For the code, link is there in the description. And if you need any help in building large scale software solutions or AI automation solutions, you can get on a quick consultation call. Again, link is there in the description. So until next time, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.